Hi guys, welcome back again. My name is Mutiat Hosman, and today is our third day on optimizing our NotebookLM platform. So the theme of our day three is visualizing with studio tools. You guys remember on our first and second days, we've looked at how to explore our sources, how to optimize our chart, how to add our notebook, and all of that. So we've done that, and today we want to focus on this third section, which is the studio. This is where all the fun happens, trust me. Okay, so here we're going to navigate to our studio panel, and we can see that we have different features here. We have the audio. Let me try to maximize this section. So we have the audio overview, we have the video overview, we have the mind map, we have the reports, flashcard, quiz, infographics, and slide deck. Well, to be honest, this is what I use the most, this mind map, because it's like a tree diagram that has different nodes, and each one of them just, it's just beautiful. So let's explore this. Remember, in our sources section, we only had one of them checklisted. So that means if I click on the mind map is only going to be on this single paper, okay? So let's click on the mind map and see what we're going to have. Let it generate. So while we are waiting for that, okay, yeah, it's here. So we're gonna click on this and it will take us back to this. Okay, so let me try to minimize this. Okay, so we can see that this is the paper itself. The paper has is the clinical advancement in public health research, and then these are the notes. So here we have major health challenges. It's just like the way we section like introduction, the problem statement, the objective, the methodology, and maybe your conclusion or whatever. So it depends on how the paper is structured. That's what this mind map does. Okay. So the first section is talking about the major health challenges, technological innovations, the methodological shifts, and the public health strategies. I can tell you for a fact that if you start using Notebook LM, this mind map is going to be one of your major tools that you really enjoy the most. Okay, so now if I click on the major health challenges, it's going to have different sections. So in the major health challenges, we have the non-communicable diseases, we have the infectious diseases, we have the mental health disorders, and then I can click on this again and then it show me the cardiovascular issues, the diabetes, the cancer, and for the infectious disease, I have you have different COVID-19 pandemic impact, the antimicrobial resistance, and like that. Now, let's say I want to focus on maybe let's say I want to focus, let me minimize it a little bit more. Okay. So let's say I want to focus on the cardiovascular disease or maybe diabetes or that or cancer. I can just click on one of them and it takes me right back to the source. Now let me maximize this. Okay, so it's going to discuss about the cardiovascular issues that were discussed in that paper. Can you see how mind blowing this is? So you're going to get as many and detailed information about that disease because I went to pick a section of it from the mind map. So mind map is you're ready to go like features in the Notebook LM platform where you get to select a section of the work. It's like having notes, and then you pick a notes to get the whole picture of where the thing is coming from. You can see how it broadened that cardiovascular issues starting from the main scratch, and then you keep getting references because they are not just auto generated, they are coming from the sources that we uploaded. I'm sure you guys are already blown away. Yes. So that's one of the beautiful and a very good feature in the studio section. Okay. So another thing that we can look at is we can even select our timeline if we want, but I don't really use that. But it's something you can use on the studio panel to just to arrange how your data is synchronological arranged. Okay. So another thing I use on the studio section is I use the what is it called? Is it the report? Yes. So I use the report as well. There's another one that let me see. In fact, you can use this mind map for your study guide, right? We can. I think there should be one more. Let me see. Yeah, so it depends on what you're trying to do. You can use the quiz to test, like maybe you're a student and you're studying for an exam. You can upload your notebook, you can upload your textbook in Notebook LM, and then it's going to auto generate some quizzes for you which you can practice yourself before your main exam. So it depends on how you spend enough time to optimize these features. But so far, I use the mind map a lot. I use that mind map a lot because it's like a branch of everything, and then I can select what section I want at that time, and then I can study harder on that part, and then I can keep going wider and wider and wider. And then we can always, and we're still going to talk about the report section, okay? So this is what the day three is focusing on: is how can we visualize our using our studio tools. The mind map is our ready to go, is something I would definitely recommend that you optimize a lot because it's very helpful. And then even you can add another source. Let's say I had two papers, and then I go to mind map to integrate the new one and then generate what the mind map looks like. Now you can see that the clinical research is using two sources, which are the two sources that I checklisted here. So if I come here, I'm going to find the mind map. So I can minimize this so that I can see. So now the two of them, we have one, it's talking about public health research advancement and intensive glycemic control study. Okay, so if I start splitting them out, you can see it's looking like a decision tree. Okay, except that now I have more than two nodes in each one of them. Anyways, so we can open it up for until you exhaust all the notes, and then you can click on each one of them, and it take you right back to the chat history where you see how it's all connected. So this is something that I definitely would recommend. So thank you so much for joining us. Our work for today, or your practice for today, is to explore these studio features: the mind map, the quiz. If you're a student and you're planning your exam, try to optimize the quiz option to prepare. Use the mind map to see different sections that you have in your notebook or in your textbook. And then yeah, so see you again in our next video. Don't forget to watch our previous videos, which I'll be adding the link to this one to help you.